Some local news to get to today, so Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A babysitter charged with murder after a toddler in her care was beaten to death. A victory for Oxford families as a judge rules they should be able to see the evidence in the case before the rest of the world. Good news from doctors' offices.
At least one winter virus is finally fading away.
Those stories coming up, but we begin with breaking news. A tragic freeway crash. Sky 4 live over one of Metro Detroit's busiest interchanges that has now been shut down for hours. 2 people were killed right around 10:30 this morning at what's usually an extremely busy stretch of freeway.
Let's take a look. Happened on I-696 just east of the 275 interchange. Tim Pamplin was there today as police tried to figure out how it all happened.
Michigan State Police accident investigators have been out here all day. 696 at 275. The westbound lane's closed after a multiple chain reaction crash.
Man, you know, it's bad out here. You got to be careful driving on these highways. You never know.
I was late too. Imagine if I was early. That could have been me.
Those involved in the collision seen on the side of the road consoling one another. For tow truck driver Kevin, he sees this all too often.
12 hours. I drive around. I got to watch out for stuff like this all day. You got people not paying attention, texting, driving, on the phone, whatever, not paying attention. Like, take it, man. Sometimes you got to wait.
Part of the investigation, talking to the drivers that survived, including the truck driver. Police say the driver was simply going too fast, couldn't stop, rear-ended several vehicles, sending them plowing into each other. And in an instant, 2 lives were lost.
You better take one day at a time and enjoy it, because these people that are doing 90, 95 down this freeway nowadays, not obeying the speed limit, that's not good for anybody else. It's just how people are driving. They need to slow down.
In Farmington Hills today, Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Yeah, this is the second crash this week with multiple fatalities. 2 people were killed Tuesday in a crash on I-94 near Telegraph.
All right, we want to get to more breaking news, this time in Auburn Hills. That's where crews are battling a fire at the countryside townhouses on Squirrel, just north of Walton. You can see that the fire has damaged multiple units there. We'll be sure to update you as soon as we learn any new information.
All right, new at 5, a judge has ordered evidence in the Oxford school shooting case to be shared with the families of the victims who are suing the district, among others. That
judge's order comes on the very same day accused shooter Ethan Crumbly appeared in court. Sean Lay is following both angles for us tonight. Sean, so what kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Namely, Kimberly, and all this is developing late this afternoon. Video evidence from inside Oxford High School the day of the shooting, and video evidence of that shooting. Again, all this unfolding late this afternoon. Here is the very latest. A judge late today ordering Oxford schools and the Oakland County Sheriff's Office to release evidence from the November 30th Oxford school shooting. And that would include school security camera video of the shooting. Attorney Ben Johnson, representing the families of victims Tate Meir and Justin Schilling, along with families whose children were injured in the shooting, pushed for the release of the video and other evidence. The sheriff's office and prosecution did not want this evidence out before trial. Here's Ben Johnson.
You know, the last thing I want to do is screw up a prosecution, but by giving the victims evidence, Sean, 7 months after this tragedy, how this is right? Something to fight about, I don't get. I really don't.
Johnson says the families want him to have the evidence and for him to see the video. And then they will have a compassionate discussion if the families are ready to view it. Sheriff Michael Bouchard says he does not want the evidence to cause any fair trial issues, and he hopes the families have the proper support around them if they choose to watch the video.
It is a terrible video. Even for a seasoned law enforcement professional, it's terrible. If it has any effect on our prosecutors' ability to hold people accountable, then that's my caveat as well. I don't want it released if she believes it's going to affect a jury pool or any kind of issues, because typically civil goes after criminal.
We just spoke to the sheriff just minutes ago. All this again developing. That video has not been handed over quite just yet to attorney Ben Johnson, who will view it first and not release it, and then possibly share it with family members who may want to see it. That's where things are right now. He does not know when he will get that evidence. Also, the prosecutor's office in Oakland County fought against this. We asked them if they have comment about this along with Oxford schools. We'll let you know when they get back to us. Also this morning, the accused shooter's trial was moved back to January of 2023. Another thing to keep an eye on. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
We will be watching it all. Sean, we appreciate it.
Yet another big story tonight. A Roseville babysitter now charged with murder in the death of a 23-month-old boy.
Let's get right to Jason Colthorpe. He's live in the newsroom with these new charges. Jason.
And charges, Kim, that were expected once the boy died from his injuries yesterday. Kimora Hodges now charged with felony murder in the death of a little boy who was about to turn 2 years old. Roseville police say the 21-year-old Hodges was babysitting the boy named Kyrie when she called his mother to say he wasn't acting normally. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors determined he had severe head trauma. Detectives say Hodges confessed to hurting the boy. Hodges was denied bond and will be back in court June 29th. Obviously, we'll be following this case every step of the way. Kim, Devin, back to you.
Jason, thank you. Now to a major ruling today by the U.S. Supreme Court that's delivering a direct blow to gun control efforts across the country.
A ruling that strikes down a New York gun law that's been one of the strictest in the country. Bree Jackson in Washington with the reaction pouring in. Bree.
Today's Supreme Court ruling expanded gun rights, making it easier for people to carry firearms in public for self-defense. In a 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court struck down a New York gun control law requiring people to demonstrate a special need for a license to carry a concealed weapon outside of their home.
I think it's a big win, obviously. I look forward to reading the whole thing.
Today will only put more citizens of New York City in harm's way.
Today, the mayor of New York outraged by the ruling and vowing to fight back.
We cannot allow New York to become the Wild Wild West. That is unacceptable.
Lawyers for the state said the law promotes public safety and claims striking it down would lead to more guns and more crime.
Have you shopped with us before?
Yes.
But challengers argued the law makes it virtually impossible for the ordinary law-abiding citizen to obtain a license. And justices agreed.
This opinion was written by Justice Thomas, who has said before that the Second Amendment has been treated as a second-class right, and this is really a response to that.
In a scathing dissent, Justice Stephen Breyer referenced gun violence in Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York, saying the High Court severely burdened states aiming to limit who can carry firearms. The ruling comes as lawmakers debate new bipartisan gun legislation.
Americans have waited long enough. Let us finish our job today.
I'm not going to do anything that takes away the Second Amendment rights from law-abiding Americans.
Today's ruling could lead to an expansion of gun rights across the country, just as many are pushing for tighter gun laws. In a statement, President Biden said he's deeply disappointed by today's Supreme Court ruling and urged states to continue to enact and enforce laws that protect communities from gun violence. Outside the Supreme Court, I'm Bree Jackson for Local 4.
Hey, Bree, thank you. Gasoline prices are continuing to dip a bit in Michigan. The statewide average is now $5.11, about 2 cents down from yesterday. In Metro Detroit, we're paying $5.21. That's down from $5.23. Our prices in the state are still higher than the national average. That's below $5 at $4.94 a gallon.
With gas prices still above $5 a gallon most places, Governor Whitmer was asked today if she plans to follow President Biden's request to repeal the state gas tax, the state tax. That came during a speech to the Macomb County Chamber of Commerce, and Grant Herms was at the event with more on what she had to say about that. Grant?
Hey, Devin. So the governor says she still wants to find a way to ease some of that pain that we're all feeling when we fill up the gas tank, but time is running out to find that compromise in Lansing, as she also addressed some other major issues this morning. Governor Whitmer focusing on family and the economy in Macomb County, talking to the Macomb Chamber of Commerce, again backing President Biden's ask to suspend the federal gas tax and pushing for a stop to the state's sales tax on gas.
I've proposed a tax rebate, a $500 check. That's something that I think would be helpful, and we could actually get it to people quickly. I've also suggested eliminating the sales tax on gas, which is a smaller overtime relief.
Michigan Republicans have repeatedly urged the state to end its gas tax, including sending a bill to Whitmer's desk. The governor vetoing that bill back in April, saying it would put too much of a hole in road funding, effectively stopping construction. Whitmer also making the economic case for keeping abortion a right in Michigan. Whitmer making the argument as a new bill introduced in the state house making abortion manslaughter, signaling just how far apart she and Republicans are on the issue.
Ensuring that women have bodily autonomy and equal rights is crucial to our ability to attract and retain talent as well in Michigan.
She also signed a sweeping package of child care bills into law.
We can't even agree on the time. I'm going to round up to 11 o'clock. Amen.
Now, we did try to talk to the governor today, but we were told she was unavailable. She did tell the crowd, however, that negotiations are still going on when it comes to that sales gas tax here in the state of Michigan. But the clock is ticking. The legal deadline for the state budget is the end of this month. In downtown Detroit, Grant Herms, Local 4.
Exactly right. All right, Grant.
Well, we've got a lot more to come here on the news at 5.
Let's get over to Brett Collar and see what's coming up. Brett.
Very nice across southeast Michigan. Drone 4 over Hart Plaza. Lots of sun and more of it for the weekend, but also some rain. We'll talk about when you'll need the umbrella coming up.
And new revelations surrounding President Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election.
Summer illnesses are soaring this week, but at least one winter virus is finally fading away. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, I'll show you what's up and what's down in my weekly report on what's going around.